across the Tasman in Australia, whether you're in New Zealand itself, whether you're playing Super League here in Great Britain, the national pride of the New Zealanders there for all to see. And it's a truly international occasion because Steve Ganson, who was in charge of the very first Tri Nations match in Sydney in October, is in charge of this one here at Ellen Road tonight as we bring the curtain down on a fantastic year of rugby league in this country in 2005. Okay, it's the Australians who will attack as we watch from right to left. Craig Fitzgibbon gets us underway, the final 80 minutes of this season, and I wonder who will come out on top at the end of this. Will the Australians go home with the victory yet again, or can New Zealand spring another surprise? It's fascinating. And it's terrific, Steve-O, to sit here totally, completely and utterly relaxed and just let the wonderful action unfold in front of us.
Well, at least, Eddie, for once you will not be biased one way. It's as simple as that. But I just hope that the people watching at home and also the players in Super League, you know, look at these two sides, the skill factor. Great Britain coach Brian Noble made it quite clear last week that we still had a long way to go to reach the skill factors. Fitness, yes, we're okay. Upper body strength, yes, we're okay. But we need that skill factor bringing back into our game.
Talking of skill, the kick downfield, well fielded by Brent Tate, but a great chase on him by Manu Vatavai, the youngest player on the pitch, the number 5 in the black and white of New Zealand tonight. International newcomer of the year at the award ceremony earlier this week. But here now is Craig Gower, and they're moving the ball across this line, and now it's the winger Matt King, and Matt King is bundled to the ground by 2 tacklers.
That just shows you, Eddie, the confidence and the skill that this Australian side have. It went 5 passes directly underneath your post. In Millwood, it's very few teams will do that early in a game.
Yeah, but it's all about reaction, what's in front of you. You know, in this tournament so far, Steve-O, teams have averaged, games have averaged over 50 points a game, and over 9 tries a game have been averaged. So we're into some fun here tonight, I think.
Gower's kick, it was well fielded, but that's the first penalty. I think Trent Barrett has been pinged by Mr. Ganson for coming in on the flop.
Well, that was good work. Vatavai certainly put himself in a good position, but the quality of Craig Gower, a little chip over the top, something different yet again.
And of course, Trent Barrett, as the caption said there, sin-binned by Mr. Ganson twice last week in the international against Great Britain at Hull. He said this week he doesn't think he's ever been sin-binned twice before in his 10-year career, never mind twice in 80 minutes, but that's what he got from Mr. Ganson last week, and he's just conceded the first penalty. And this is the skipper, Ruben Wiki, right on the halfway line. Motu Tony of the Hull club, and he is dropped by Jason Riles, and he now is the fullback, Brent Webb.
He's a key character on this New Zealand attacking line at the fullback. He's been in outstanding form.
The second rower there is Louis Anderson, and he's got heavy strapping on the left knee, as you can see, and he plays the ball. Here is Stacey Jones. Here's the kick, high, and they're chasing this. Oh, and it's bounced, and it could be a try here for the centre, Fatuira. The referee, Steve Ganson, will check it all out via the video referee, Dave Campbell. And the winger, Matt King, is saying about obstruction in the back play, and Mr. Ganson had a little nod at him, but what a kick from Stacey Jones.
Perfect height. Onside, no problems with that at all. See there, just pushed out of the way. The try scorer, that's a try. No doubt about it in my mind, that will be brought up. It was certainly hit by the Australian first, so therefore it's play on.
But is there a knock-on by the Kiwi, Steve-O, there?
Well, it was going, the ball was being projected backwards. It seemed to go backwards as far as I'm concerned. No doubt about the grounding.
Fatuira definitely got a hand to it, there's no question of that.
I think this will be given. They put Matt King under a lot of pressure.
Jake Webster doing really well in the air.
I think they'll give this. This will be a real shock. But what about the kick? Plenty of height. Gave the chance for the winger. There is confirmation.
given to Paul Fatuira, the lucky omen in the NRL. Grand final wins with 3 unfashionable clubs in the last 3 years. Can he now do it at international level? Well, he's got the Kiwis off to a fantastic start.
And it came from Stacey Jones. Okay, jet lag or not, he will do the kicking all night. Not the best work from Matt Cooper. He tried to put the Kiwis off. He runs right across. He really should have been far better just coming back and trying to help the winger. Didn't work out. The centre said, I love it. Fatuira, what a start. That'll settle the nerves, but will it poke the Australians well and truly in the eye?
Well, maybe, but Stacey Jones, who produced the effort with the kick, now has the chance to add the extras. And this would be a fantastic effort. Oh, but he's missed it. He's pulled it in front of the posts. Well, Fatuira, who has got 2 successful grand finals in the last 3 years with West Tigers and Penrith in 2003. West Tigers this year, of course. He's come up with the first try of this Tri-Nations final. And New Zealand are ahead by 4 points to 0. John Keir, what a start.
Sensational start, Eddie, and the skill level of Stacey Jones there was there for all to see. He isolated the wingman Matt King, so he couldn't get a jump, and what a great contest by Jake Webster, who went for the ball. He caused the mistake, and as you say, Fatuira was on hand. Great start for the New Zealanders, very simple, emphasis on the forwards and runs from dummy half and get into a good kick. Great start.
Great start indeed, and emphasis on the kick as well from Stacey Jones. That, Steve-O, is why they've flown him halfway around the world twice in the past 7 days to play.
Without a doubt, and he's only got to just get there in that first receiver position.
There he is again.
He'll just guide him around the park, and it's a good kick. Bit too strong.
It is, and Anthony Minichiello was content to allow the ball to run dead in goal. Brian McLennan, what a job this fellow has done. Of course, the son of Mike McLennan, who was in charge at St Helens in this country.
Well, the feeling is, Eddie, that amongst the camp that Brian McLennan has actually brought back the best team spirit that's been seen with the Black and Whites for several years. They really are a tight-knit unit.
And people like Benji Marshall not here, Sonny Bill Williams not here, but they've played their part in this tournament, and they are playing this part in this final. But that's a great offload. And here is Minichiello again, hauled down in the end by Ruben Wiki and Stacey Jones.
With the Kiwis holding up 4-0 lead, what they'll try to do, as you say, they'll play pretty keen. Oh, was that obstruction?
Wonderful hands here, and this is Cooper, and he gets down the line and finds Matt King, but there are 3 there, and he's forced into touch by wonderful New Zealand defence. They're up for this, the Kiwis.
Are they ever? And that just shows you, doesn't it, the tension that's going in. They came as team spirit. John Keir.
What defence, Steve? Well, there's 5 men in the tackle there. 5 New Zealanders got across, half a bus there by the Aussies, but then 5 across there, just covering for Vangana's mistake. He misread the defensive line earlier on, but his teammates covered for that mistake. Sensational work.
Fantastic work indeed by New Zealand, who have started the game better maybe than even they could have hoped for. This is Manu Vatuvei. They call him Baby Jonah, but he hates the nicknames down under. Of course, reference to the great Jonah Lomu of the other code. He says he just wants to be known as Manu Vatuvei, and he's the youngest player on the pitch, as I say, and the newcomer of the year. Got a big future ahead of him. That ball, well, how did that find its way to Motu Tony?
By the way, these are good tactics by the Kiwis, just running from dummy half, trying to see there, trying to milk a penalty, and Jones will just guide them around yet again.
Another
That's
good
a great kick.
It is a great kick, but again, it just runs touch and goal this time. But it was asking the questions all the time of Matt King, wasn't it? Wayne Bennett's been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. He's seen all this before. And here they come now, the Australians, in the shape of Luke O'Donnell, who made his international debut in this tournament this year. It's now with Trent Barrett. Good feet from Barrett, but good defence again from David Kidwell to claw him to the ground. Badiris to Craig Gower. Flick pass to Fitzgibbon. He's hammered to the ground, though, on the halfway line. Badiris, the Australian captain this evening. He was hooker in last year's grand final as well. This has got to be Danny Badiris' career highlight, I'm sure. There he is, number 9 in green and gold. Dummy half, he takes to play the ball from Ben Kennedy, and the kick from Trent Barrett, and that is going to run too deep as well.
Well, he tried the backspring on it, but it didn't work. You say Wayne Bennett, one of the men who really wanted this Tri-Nations to get off the ground last year. It's been a wonderful success.
This is Louis Anderson, noted by Gaznia.
The mere fact, Eddie, that I'm looking forward to it going down under next season.
Second, hold.
4-0, the New Zealanders lead. Only 3 Australians, by the way, who started last year's Tri-Nations final in this starting lineup for the Kangaroos tonight. Here is Paul Rahihi, who's on his way to the Warrington Wolves. The 4th tackle, though, in this set of 6 for New Zealand. 9 minutes gone. The Kiwis ahead by 4 points to 0, and a drive forward by the loose forward, Shontaine Harpy. Plays the ball to Motu Tony. Here's Stacey Jones again. Tactics are obvious, aren't they? Kicks out wide, looking to test the winger Matt King. But on that occasion, Jake Webster couldn't stop the ball from sailing out on the full. Ball brought back to where the kick was taken.
Well, this is a dummy, the step over. The Kiwis have brought that back into the game. Last time I saw that was way back in the 60s. So
I wonder how many Super League coaches might be employing that tactic here in Millwood in the new season.
Well, that was used back in the days when Steve-O was used, and we always regurgitate things in rugby league. Don't worry, we don't invent everything. They get regurgitated and we put a bit of spice. Interesting you talk about tactics here, Eddie. At the moment, New Zealand's shown their hand. They want to be to and through in the forwards, earn the right, and come up with an aggressive kicking game and make sure that they're coming off their line, Australia. You talk about being aggressive in defence, Eddie. That's the way to do it, make teams come off their line. That's what New Zealand are trying to do.
Great hands, though, on show again from the Australians, but wonderful defence once more. And Jake Webster, great hit on Fitzgibbon. There was 3 men on the overlap down the left-hand channel. Gower to Petro Sivanasiva. He gets the ball away to Badiris, and here now is Ben Kennedy. He's seen a little gap, but well pulled down again by Shontaine Harpy. And here is Badiris. On his inside is Kennedy, and it finds its way untidily into the arms of Trent Barrett. Barrett going for the kick out wide, and it drops easily into the arms of Brent Tate. And Tate looking to go on his own, and they're trying to force him into touch again, and they do! This time 1, 2, 3, 4 black and white jerseys were there.
Again, wonderful defence by the Kiwis, but I must say that the Australians keeping this ball alive, turning in the tackle. Here we see the team pushing them over back. They are really working this Kiwi defence, and that is going to tell its tale late in this game.
And the key there is, Steve, is to work their forwards over, because they're going to rely on heavily with their go forward on there. And the other things the Australians will be happy about there is they've given the New Zealanders the ball back on their line for the first time in their game. Okay, they come up with an error, but they're starting off their line, and that's where they can be aggressive now.
And the Australians looking to be aggressive in the tackle, and Clinton Tupy was the receiver of that one. This now is David Kidwell. David Kidwell, sub in the 1999 Tri-Nations final. Spent a couple of years at Warrington in Super League in the early part of this century. Now it is with Fatuira, the try-scorer, that has given the New Zealanders the lead by 4 points to 0. We're 11.5 minutes into this Tri-Nations final. Rahihi, good hands to Kidwell. And Badiris coming in a little bit late perhaps on Kidwell, just having a push and shove at each other. Here is Stacey Jones again. There's the booming kick downfield, but inevitably it's Anthony Minichiello who deals with that, and he will launch the Australian counter-attack, he hopes, but a great chase.
Good positioning there by Minichiello. Voted last Monday as the best player in the world, the Golden Boot Award. Fully deserved it. In absolute superb form.
And the winger Matt King taking a bit of punishment there, and Badiris, and he just slipped as he came to greet Motu Tony. Took a bit of a belt for his trouble. This now is Barrett, and Barrett flicks the ball back. It's picked up out of the air by Gower, and Gower just dropped the shoulder. Little half break again. Important tackle round the legs that was, and unfairly Ruben Wiki had another pull at Craig Gower's legs.
Sheer desperation there from Ruben Wiki. Again, the Australians are half breaking through this New Zealand defence. Little doubt about it, just wouldn't release him. Gower wanted to get on with the job, but they are hanging back a little bit of the Kiwis, and that can only spell danger.
First penalty to Australia. It's here now with Gower, and this is Jason Riles. Motu Tony in, the first man. Again, there are 3 and 4 black and white jerseys hunting the man in possession with the football in the green and gold. And it's Badiris at dummy half. He gets it away to Trent Barrett, who goes up the middle. Kidwell was low down. Ruben Wiki over the top. Badiris could easily have got the penalty, but they managed to keep the ball alive. Bounces one way, then the other.
Should be back to 6.
Knock on.
Oh, knock on both ways. Interesting to see who'll be.
New Zealand's head and feed.
It looked to me as though it was Fatawira that got the hand to it.
You mentioned, Steve-O, about their waiting in defence there, New Zealand. It all stemmed from the play of the ball. They're winning the ruck, Australia, and their markers can't get set. And that's why they're jumping from dummy half, because they know the markers aren't set and they can beat them easy. And that's why the defensive line can't get set. If that continues, get in your Australian colours.
Spoken like a true blue kangaroo. Mr. Millwood, you nailed your colours to the... Well, all right, green and gold, I know. But you nailed your colours very early in the piece this tournament to the green and gold Masty.
Eddie, I looked up the word what a galaxy of stars means, and it means Europa.
Silence is golden. 14 minutes gone. New Zealand ahead by 4 points to 0. Ruben Wiki, though, for New Zealand. So important that he stays on the field for a long time on his 50th Test appearance.
It's important as well that New Zealand get a good kick away. The last 2 have been quite poor, right down the throat of Minicello.
Here's Stacey Jones. They put pressure on him, and there's the kick that, well, it actually bounces in the field of play from the fullback Brent Webb, but it was not the tidiest kick, although it does the job.
Good pressure though by the Australian defence. Started to pick out Stacey Jones early. He had to offload.
Brent Webb, a try in the win against France in Toulouse last week, and 2 tries, of course, against Great Britain at Loftus Road. It's good to see that the British crowd, by the way, has come out to support the concept of the Tri-Nations. Over 25,000 tickets sold earlier this week, and it looks as though we're going to be a little bit over the 25,000 mark here tonight, which is terrific news for the international game. They go wide, Australia again, good hands. It finds its way into the arms of Gasnier. This fellow is the best centre in the world, no doubt about that. And here they come again, Australia, in the shape of Craig Gower. He gets it to Ben Kennedy, and the New Zealanders scrambling in defence. Stacey Jones tying the ball up as Motu Tony made the tackle. Badiris gets it away to Luke O'Donnell.
Interested to see how the Australians are interchanging on that occasion. We saw that the winger had come into the centre position, pushed Gasnier out onto the touchline.
Gower, back it comes to Minicello. That's good defence though again from New Zealand. Great flying tackle by Nigel Vangenaar. It's now is Trent Barrett, and he'll hoist the kick out wide. Oh, he was taken a bit late there, wasn't he? Ball is bouncing around all over the shop, and the ball is stabbed through, and they're looking for Badiris. They're going to get an extra set of 6 here. But I tell you what, Trent Barrett is still groggy in back play.
1 second, I want to have a look at something there.
Interesting to see whether he was really taken out illegally.
With Trent Barrett?
Certainly appeared late. Left helmet.
It's Rahihi.
Well, he lined him up.
No touch to his report, but
Oh, that really. I mean, it didn't hit him in the face, to be fair, but it was definitely an elbow into the chest.
Okay.
Well, Steve Ganson's asking the video referee about the incident. There's no advantage for Australia here because they're already going to receive the ball from the dropout. But would it be a problem if they did put him in the bin? But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to call him out for a caution, but...
Well, if he gives a penalty, Ian, where the incident happened, that will be a benefit to Australia.
It will be, Eddie, but Australia will not go for the 2. Because at the moment they're making plenty of yardage coming out of their half, and they just want a couple of back-to-back sets in the opposition half because their second phase plays very well. They're beating the first defender. It's their scrambling defence at the moment, New Zealand, that's keeping them in the game. Any possession Australia get will cause problems.
Paul Rahihi got out of the way quickly then.
Okay.
And he's come off the field and has been interchanged. But Mr. Ganson wanted a word with him.
That's smart, coach.
Brian McLennan got him off the field.
That is a smart coach.
Okay.
Having substituted
It's the goal line dropout then for New Zealand. Australia will get the ball back here, but they get it back on halfway.
Play on.
And Craig Gower has it for Australia. Gives it then to Jason Riles.
First, back and hold.
Full credit to the New Zealand defence as well.
Go.
At times they're very slow. You see some are moving up, others aren't.
Second,
And that's always going to be a danger, but they are scrambling back. Australia getting the half break, just haven't made that clean one as yet.
This is Craig Fitzgibbon. Yes, testament to the Kiwi defence that they haven't got through. It's Badiris and Gower on the angle, and the pass into the arms of Luke O'Donnell, but good defence again. Asatasi in there, the man who's come on for Paul Rahihi. Here is Trent Barrett, and now it's with Riles, and they manage to hold him up again. Gower will spin it this way. Oh, interception! Away goes David Kidwell! David Kidwell with all the kangaroos after him. Oh, he's hammered behind the wing of Brent Tate.
Tate says, come here. Well, Kidwell wonders what on earth, and that's a penalty. It's going on. They're throwing it. Oh, someone's been king hit from the back as well. Well, we expected it might be a bit tasty, but we thought that would occur in the opening minutes. It's taken 17 3/4 minutes for it to explode. Just sheer frustration. Threw the ball at him. And then it was on, but someone got king hit in the back play. Kidwell, I'm not so sure he was onside. This is the incident where Tate's in back.
What have we got, boys?
And Luke O'Donnell went into him. They threw the ball away. And then it was on. Right, straight into it. Bang. But someone came right from the left-hand side. And I think Luke O'Donnell copped a beauty.
Well, Mr. Ganson has taken
That's been checked.
reports from both
you
touch
two, the
judges.
captains, sorted out. Original penalties, New Zealand for the interference after the break. Get on with it, sort your teams out. Yeah, we checked it up there, there's no problem. No, it's not.
Well, the Australians believe that Kidwell was a mile offside to play the ball. But they didn't go back for that, they just looked at the
That's
fight.
what I was asking you about.
They did not go back for that.
For a bloke who's sent Adrian Morley off in the first couple of seconds of a test, I think it was great he kept them all on the field. Didn't put a bloke in the bin.
Well, it's... now, a lot of people say it's not a match unless there's a bit of fisticuffs, and it certainly is a test match now. Here is Ruben Wiki.
Well, you normally see handbags at 10 paces, but
Great offload.
there was a few making the mark. This will play into the Kiwis' hands now.
Stacey Jones, and he finds the fullback, and here is Wiki. Good ball from Webb, and he's just held up short is Ruben Wiki. David Kidwell, whose break provided this opportunity for the Kiwis, and that is Webb. Oh, it's so close. They're appealing that this is a try, but he's held up short. Well, it looked like he was over the line then, the fullback Brent Webb. Back it comes to Stacey Jones again. And then wide they go, and they must be in. They are in on that far side. And it is the winger, Manu Vatuvei. Manu Vatuvei doubles the New Zealand lead. Well, as you say, all the nonsense that went on in centre field would play into the Kiwis' hands. And it certainly has. They've come up with the second try. 8-0 New Zealand.
It certainly did. They lost to the composure. Now there you see, he had his foot behind, so therefore he's onside. Doesn't necessarily have to have both feet. This is a great finish. Great finish in there, and Brent Tate, for some unknown reason, hesitates out wide. What's this, Tate? He really should have gone early, and Vatuvei has all the strength to finish it off. Simple dummy run, and what a finish.
Great ball wide too from Clinton Tupi to Manu Vatuvei. The 19-year-old comes up with his third try for New Zealand. The second try on the night, and New Zealand have an 8-0 advantage. And Stacey Jones is a little concerned with the pitch markers. over on that far side. He's already taken the flag out that marks the 20-metre line, and now he's just kicked the pad that says 20, just to get his run up right for this. Missed with his first conversion attempt from the other side, but that's the angle he has this time here at Ellen Road tonight. And this for a sensational 10-0 lead, but he's pulled it the wrong side of the post. But Australia 0, New Zealand 8 in the Tri-Nations final.
Well, the Aussies just lost their composure, especially the winger Tate there. He's indecisive, he doesn't know which way to go, and when it happens, it's too late. He should have been right in front of him quicker than that. He looks calm, doesn't he, Brian McLennan, but he knows 2 tries against the Aussies. What a dream start, and fully deserved. You've got to take your opportunity. But can the Australians regain that composure? Little doubt in my mind that little bit of fracas has helped the Kiwis.
I think, Steve, you have to take your hat off to the wingman Vatavai there as well. We can criticise Tate, but let's applaud Vatavai because his body positioning as he went for the line, it was very low, it was driving in, it was very determined, and that's a great try. And we felt the Kiwis' dam was going to burst with the Australians exerting the pressure, but they get to the other end of the field and they come away with the 4.
Well, if Australia are to win the Tri-Nations in 2005, it'll be a direct contrast to what happened here 12 months ago, when at half-time they led Great Britain by 38 points to 0. Now they are 8-0 down, and Stacey Jones is conducting the orchestra, and that's a fantastic high kick.
What a take, though, under a lot of pressure. That's one of the reasons why this guy has been voted the best in the world. It was a beautiful kick again from Stacey Jones.
But it's a great tactic, Steve, isn't it, as well? You know that Minicello's such a great returner of the ball, so give a high ball, and then all your defensive line can get there to take him as he receives it, and you've eliminated him from that tackle.
Knock on by Ben Kennedy, and I noticed that 1 or 2 of these Australians are looking and questioning Mr. Ganson.
You can't blame the referee for that. Ben Kennedy wanted to get on with the game. Play the ball, you've got to regain your position and then place the ball. He did it absolutely in reverse, and that's the reason why he lost it.
In the tackle before, though, Steve-O, and the errors, they've made 4 to New Zealand's 0, as you've just seen crawling through the top of your screen. In the tackle before, there was a bit of a complaint to Mr. Ganson from the Australian. This is Tupi again.
Well, they've got to forget about the guy with a whistle. They've got to make sure that their defence is pretty solid.
I think the green and golds are rattled here, you know.
Oh, without a doubt.
And this is Louis Anderson. And that's an important tackle by Ben Kennedy. And there is David Fayumu, who's just on. He gets it away to Kidwell. And Kidwell with nowhere to go. Absolutely bottled up then by the Australian defence. Craig Fitzgibbon making the tackle. Fayumu again. It's now is Stacey Jones. And he flicks it back to Shontaine Harpy.
Oh, a high shot there.
And Harpy through. And if he could have got the ball away to Brent Webb, he was over under the sticks. 4 tackles gone. Fayumu again, going on his own. Fayumu bang underneath the Australian post now. And Brent Webb is the dummy half. Back it comes to Stacey Jones. The kick out wide. It's worked for them so often. It could work again. It has worked again.
He's got it.
Manu Vatavai with the try. He'll just have to check for the offside, will he? Having a long talk with the touch judge. Not given yet. Not given yet, but Manu Vatavai dancing all the way around the area. He thinks he's scored here.
So do I. Again, a beautifully weighted kick from the little halfback Stacey Jones, creating all sorts of trouble for the green and golds. He went very early, didn't he? Very early indeed, Tate. And he gets it stolen. It's a smash and grab. And he's got the 4, no doubt about that. This will come up as a TRY. Most of the British in this stadium tonight, they said they wanted to cheer on the Kiwis. Well, they're having plenty to cheer about. This is a great take. It's a steal. And it's the 3rd try for the black and whites.
Vatavai has just picked the pocket of Brent Tate. And this will be a try to New Zealand. And they lead by 12 points to 0. And I know we've talked about the work that they're having to do in defence, but Wayne Bennett will know that the longer this goes on, the greater the confidence will grow for the men in the black and white.
Superb high kick yet again. This is the reason why they brought him from down under. barely celebrating about the new birth, and he was on the plane. His wife said, yes, you can go, it's so important to you, and he's done it again. Kick into the right corner, produced a try. Now they've kicked into the left corner and done exactly the same thing.
And Manu Vatavai with his second try, the New Zealand warrior. And there's a bit of a conflab going on behind the Australian line as Stacey Jones lines up this kick. Now, is it third time lucky? No. 3 tries, 12 points, no conversions, 12-0. It's still in Australia's hands, but as I say, the confidence will be growing in the New Zealanders, Ian.
I think if you talk about New Zealand wanted before the game, they didn't want a fast tempo and they wanted field position. They've got both. If you look at their bench at the moment, Ali Lalati, Dave Solomona, outstanding forwards, have not entered the field of play because the tempo hasn't been at the speed where he's had to make instant replacements. And that's the key for Australia. Cut out the errors, maintain field position and get Jones away from your line from these attacking kicks.
I think we saw very early as well, Sivanasiva went very high, trying to take someone's head off, instead of doing his job out there and doing the defence. You cannot carry anybody in international football.
Ruben Wiki again. 27 minutes without a breather for the New Zealand captain. When he leaves the field, they do tend to lose their way a little bit. Asatazi, well, it's all coming off for them. He got the ball away. Stacey Jones got it wide to Anderson, and Anderson got it to Clinton Tupy. And the Australians are having a devil's own job in getting into this Tri-Nations final. Look at that, 5 breaks to 1 for New Zealand. And this is Kidwell now, and Stephen Price gets him.
Well, surprisingly as well, the Kiwis are finding those gaps in and around the play the ball area.
Brilliant from Stacey Jones, gets the ball infield to Vanganar. Vanganar clips it down the line, and Minicello just tidies up the danger. But it will be a goal line dropout for Australia, and more pressure, a repeat set of 6 for the Kiwis.
Super stuff, little step, then the dink into the corner. Look at the chase there. Minicello couldn't take any chances. And they get the repeat. They are stunned.
Well, I think the Aussies are stunned, Steve, but I think we must applaud how well that New Zealand are playing. Tactically, they're getting things exactly right, and it's obvious that Wayne Bennett has sensed that there's a problem because he's brought both props off Riles and Sivanasiva and interchanged them straight away. So there tells you where Wayne Bennett feels that the game's being lost at this moment in time.
Drive forward here by Roy Asatazi, who was in the side beaten by the Leeds Rhinos here in February in the World Club Challenge. Now it's with Wiki. Oh, an offload again and flick back. That was Harpy, and they have the men on the overlap wide here. Tupy. Oh, Vatavai puts the ball down. That was a hat-trick begging, and that could have been the Tri-Nations final.
I think you're right as well. Back on the inside, good positioning, and again we could see that Australia, they're having a lot of trouble down their right-hand side in defence. Good work by the Kiwis, they are spotting that. They're working well onto the left-hand side.
Steve, I think one of the problems, not in that instance, but young Tate, what he's having a problem with Vatavai, when it gets down to man-on-man, he's backpedaling. He has to go forward at him, and he's buying time and backpedaling. He's making Gaznia feel very uncomfortable. When it's man-on-man, go at him.
Well, these pictures being beamed live and this commentary live in Australia and New Zealand, people waking up down under to this Tri-Nations final, and do not adjust your sets. In Australia, it is a 12-0 lead that the Kiwis have, and they have full value for this. 3 tries they have scored, the 2 by Manu Vatavai. He got the second and third, and Paul Fatawira got things going. It's 12-0 to New Zealand, and Gower trying to do something about it for Australia. And here now is Marco Milan, and a penalty for hands in at the ruck against David Kidwell.
Silly play by the second rower. It's given Australia the field position that they've been wanting for quite some time. And I think that Wayne Bennett has got the message out and said, listen, we may have a great three-quarter line, but we've got to have our forwards getting over the advantage a bit. Let's roll our sleeves up and get our shirts dirty.
That's Mark O'Mealy again, gets to his feet, plays the ball to Badiris. And Badiris attacking the line, flicks it back to Trent Barrett. Little half break and an important tackle low down again by David Fayumu. And it's with Craig Gower, and he manages to get the ball backwards, but it's gobbled up by the New Zealanders on the floor. That was good work by Brent Webb.
Well,
They're not at the races, the Aussies.
If you want to measure enthusiasm, Eddie, it's little things like that. When there's a loose ball on the ground, who's going to react the first? Who's the sharpest to it? And it's been the New Zealanders all night there. Great work by Brent Webb, and that's consequently they've got the penalty from there.
They've got a penalty for offside. They might have had a penalty also for a high shot by Ben Kennedy on Jake Webster.
Didn't miss him either. Again, the frustration. And again, the field position is being given away.
Can't be clear.
They'll be kicking all night with the Kiwis. They know they've got a 12-point lead now. But how embarrassing would it have been if all three conversions would have gone over?
Indeed so. It's Rahihi who has returned to the fray. Wayne Bennett looking for the combination that will turn this match Australia's way as he makes the changes. And Asatazi will play the ball. Here is Stacey Jones. Back it goes to Brent Webb. Oh, that looked a touch forward. The referee agrees.
Yeah, just delayed it a little bit too long. Nice move, though. You see on the different angle, definitely Webb just held it up. Clinton Tupi just a bit in front, but they really are working down that right-hand side, and they're doing the dummy runner coming and then another one coming round on the angle.
Well, Clinton Tupi is one of the leading try scorers in this Tri Nations series, and he runs very straight, direct lines. He doesn't run to a sideline. The other thing I'll pose you too, Steve-O, wouldn't it be embarrassing for Australia if it was 12-6 at half-time, because New Zealand have completely dominated the first 30 minutes.
You mentioned Clinton Tupi, and he's the only Kiwi ever to get 2 hat-tricks against Australia, including one in Sydney last month. He got one in 2003 in Auckland as well. 12-0, the Kiwis lead. 7 and a bit minutes to the half-time siren. What a first half it's been for New Zealand.
Well, I think the Australians are a little bit surprised as well. Remember, there was about 15 minutes where Australia were making the half break, and they're making the errors, they're offloading there in heavy traffic, and it's not paying off for them.
And they have another penalty here, New Zealand.
And I think they'll shove this right into the corner.
Gotta get out
I don't think they'll bother with a 2 so far out.
Matt Cooper penalised for twisting and turning the player on the ground.
Not only that, Eddie, is that the Australians are eager to keep it alive. We mentioned that in the opening minutes when they had 5 passes underneath their own post. Trouble is, it's just not coming off for them.
Rahihi drives the ball in. They're 10 metres away from the Australian line. And that's Faumu again. And here now is Stacey Jones. Pops the ball back. It's Asatazi. Roy Asatazi driving it in. And Australia having the devil's own job to keep them out. It's with Faumu again. Here is Stacey Jones. It'll be a fairy tale if Stacey Jones gets over for a try in this match. Brent Webb, the dummy half. Back it comes to Nigel Vanganaan. He drives it in straight again. And the substitute, Craig Wing, is there first with Willie Mason to bring him down. And another penalty for hands in the ruck.
He'll take the 2 here. No doubt about that. Yep. Confirmation from the coach. Well, Brian McLennan must be pinching himself. That that Australia are making so many errors, but let's take nothing away from the Kiwis because the errors are coming, because the aggressive defence, they're coming in numbers.
They are, because they've got field position, and the kicking game from Stacey Jones is outstanding. But this is not something new to him, but also, remember, Steve-O, in Australia, only what we were talking about 5 or 6 weeks ago, they won at the Telstra Stadium, and then they went back to their homeland and were only beaten by 2 points. So, you know, they're not in foreign territory. It's a key how they maintain it now.
Stacey Jones maybe is the key. Just how much will the effects of the long flight home and then back for the birth of his son, how much will that take out of him tonight? And that's his first successful kick of the evening. But importantly, it stretches the advantage still further. It's New Zealand 14, Australia 0. And Wayne Bennett, well, he has to do some work, doesn't he?
He certainly does. John Keir, I pose the question. What a dream start for McLennan. What sort of speech will he make at half-time?
Well, he'll just tell his New Zealand troops to continue doing what they've been doing so very, very well indeed, i.e. getting out of dummy half. All the 3 quarters have done quite a bit of scooting out of dummy half. hitting the big forwards who are punching holes in around the ruck area, and then Stacey Jones finishing the set off with a great kick and chase. And that will be the speech. Keep doing what we've been doing so well.
And importantly, with less than 5 minutes to go to half-time, they still have to bring the ball handlers like David Solomona and Ali Lauatiti off the bench, New Zealand. Well, that is a very, very important weapon for them here tonight.
And that's what we knew. Out wide.
It's another penalty. Well, Mr. Ganson's caning the Aussies. And, well, there's the fellow who destroyed Great Britain in the first half last year, Darren Lockyer. This is uncharted territory in terms of Tri-Nations. At Ellen Road, anyway.
Well, I don't think Mr. Ganson's being harsh on the Australians. He's just refereeing the game.
Yep.
If he reads the ball out, he reads the ball out, and it's a penalty.
6-2 to New Zealand on the penalty count. 14-0 where it matters on the scoreboard. You're absolutely right, John. He's refereeing the rules, and there's nothing wrong in that.
Go.
And here now at the Kiwis again with Asotasi.
What is wrong? There are a lot of the Australians, especially the forwards. They're just having a big chat to the official.
There's another one, and the referee now will call the captain, and he will take action eventually here.
Captain, please. Captain.
There's a lot of messing around going on at the play of the ball.
Yep.
It's unfamiliar, this. It's unusual that the Australians are the ones who are slowing it down.
Tactics when they're on the road. You've men in the tackle, but they're just lying there. Steve Price was on forever then. You've got to get him off. I've give you, there's been stripping, there's
Not surprisingly.
Okay, well, it's been both ways. Okay, well, let's sort it out and give him the opportunity. Okay, mate?
Well, he's asked for both ways, says Craig Gower. But they're going to take the 2 points on offer here, New Zealand.
And they've got to. And doesn't that bench look a little bit sick at the moment? Now, when you cast your mind back to last year in the Tri-Nations, New Zealand were finding themselves in a good position, and they seemed to capitulate in the second half. I really don't think that the Australians can have that mindset and go in and say, oh, well, you know, they will fall apart. Because I don't think they will. I think they'll fight all the way through into the second stanza.
Well, Stacey Jones, normally he will eat these for breakfast. New Zealand Warriors, Le Catalan next year in the Super League. And how important will he be to the French challenge that will be coming into the British competition in 2006? I think he will have a mighty influence on the affair in the south of France. And we will be seeing Le Catalan against Ian Millwood's Wigan on Saturday, February the 11th here, live on Sky Sports. The opening weekend of the Super League, Castleford against John Keir's Hull the evening before. That's all to come in 2006. February the 10th, February the 11th, the opening weekend of the Super League on Sky Sports. The week before, it is the World Club Challenge at the Galfarm Stadium, Huddersfield. The champions of the UK, Bradford Bulls against West Tigers. It's a Friday, February the 3rd at 7:30. We shall be live for all of that, of course.
Hold. Go.
Again, the New Zealanders quite happy to trundle it through with the big forwards. They know they've got the man, Stacey Jones, who can do the kick. And again, good running from dummy half.
Oh, everything sticking for New Zealand. And this is Stacey Jones again. And there's the kick to the corner. And it's an invitation for Fatuira. Oh, the ball just beats him. Wow, well, if that would have been a try, I think the Australians could have all gone home.
Great work. That ability, and that just shows you the confidence, doesn't it? They couldn't get to him. Stacey Jones stumbled and was allowed to get to his feet and get the kick away.
I think the big one there, Steve, was how well he read the game, though, because he hit the floor and almost immediately, as soon as he was regained his feet, he weighed up the options, he looked at how many defenders were there, how many offensive plays, and just slipped a lovely kick behind. And if it had been a yard less hard, Steve-o, it'd have been a try.
Yep.
Steve, I think Stacey Jones keeps answering your question about last year. They led every Tri-Series game at half-time and wilted last year. The difference keeps coming back to that man, Stacey Jones. He didn't play last year.
Gaznia, they missed the tackle on him at their peril, but they are there in numbers. And Rahi dumps him on the deck.
Well, Australia will gamble. They won't just shut up shop. Oh, well, they will now.
Willie Mason drops the ball. It's swooped on by David Kidwell. They have a minute, and they have a full set of 6 to get another try just before half-time, New Zealand.
Or even a 1 point.
Yeah, that's a good call, Steve, as well. You know, they might have a shot for 4 or 5 tackles, and if nothing else is on, slip that ball between the H's.
It's Brent Webb, and he goes wide to Stacey Jones. Back inside it comes to the substitute, Fauimu. And he is just enveloped by the tackle of Craig Wing and Craig Fitzgibbon. And now it's with the fullback Webb again. Over the top it goes. Oh, they went for the interception. They come up with it in the end. And it is Brent Tate. Well, they just went wide. They were looking really for the 4 points out wide then. Here is Fitzgibbon. 10 seconds to the half-time siren. Gasnier at dummy half. This is Gower. Oh, what a hit, and Gower's flat out. There's the half-time siren. Vangenaar it was. Vangenaar took Craig Gower then, and he's not happy with it. Craig Gower having it chirruped in the ear of 1 or 2 players. Well, Craig Gower's all right, but there's the magician. There's the man who has waved the wand. And New Zealand are ahead in the Tri-Nations final. The job is half done. A Stacey Jones orchestrated performance, and New Zealand are ahead by 16 points to 0. And Australian players limping their way also to the sideline, I saw there. But it has been New Zealand's half. Began with Fatuira's try, Batabai with his 2 tries, and then Jones with the boot. And the Kiwis are ahead by 16-0 at half-time.
You're invited to Rugby League's Black Tie Bash.
Now it's time to give out the goodies.
The game's finest come together in celebration of a year that has seen Kiwis flying high, home and abroad. Live from Sky City, the New Zealand Rugby League Awards, Friday, Sky Sport 1.
Stephen Fleming. Well, he's our captain, isn't he? And let's face it, he's tall, he's dark, he's handsome. He's got that 5 o'clock shadow that women seem to love. But what's more important, he makes very good decisions. Ricky Ponting, on the other hand, short, he's not so pretty, and he hates losing. But lately, he's been getting plenty of practice.
The National Bank Series Chapel Hadley Trophy, Game 1, next Saturday, Sky Sport 1. Brought to you by the National Bank. Of all the cups in world tennis, there is only one that represents team supremacy. An illustrious 105-year history upon which a new name will be etched. The Davis Cup Final, Slovak Republic versus Croatia, next Saturday, live and exclusive Sky Sport 3. There can only ever be one winner. For some, it is a road traveled often.
Number 4 for Tiger.
For others, it's a new path paved in glory.
And look at those teams.
Michael Campbell is going to win the U.S. Open.
Relive magic sporting moments as we look back at the champions of 2005 who've carved their names into history.
He's going to do it.
Sky Sports Best in 2005, all throughout December. Check your guides for times.
Half-time in the Gillette Tri-Nations final. Yes, you are hearing correctly. 16-0. The Kiwis lead Australia at the split, Peter, but there is still another 40 minutes of football to go, and that's where I always put the caution when you've got the Kangaroos involved.
Well, but you've got 40 minutes of football that when you look at how Australia's performing, you're coming up with percentages and stats that you would never, ever imagine possible, particularly at an international level. 39% possession and completion rate sitting around 40%, but take nothing away from the Kiwis. They've been outstanding. What they talked about pre-match going into this game was about attention to detail, taking care of the simple stuff, and that is the big contrasting difference between the two sides. The Kiwis being quite prepared in the early stanza just to get it out of the acting half, running it up was simple. Shantae Harpy coming and giving a bit of speed out of the acting half. The Australians, on the other hand, were looking to be a little bit more adventurous, push the ball around, and they've come up with a completion rate of 40-odd%, well off the mark.
Yes, their pre-game philosophy of power versus flair. having to play a Darwin sort of game paying off, as they were referring to the Swans and the New England Patriots in the NFL of how they have won their championships. All right, Paul Fatueta scores very early. Stacey Jones' kicking game, barring from the tee, is on the money, and this was a beauty.
Well, he's been spot on. You know, you can only imagine what the scoreline would have been had he come up with the conversions on the penalties, but there was some good lead-up work, positioned well to then execute the kicking game, and that's exactly what's happened throughout for 40 minutes, has found themselves in good position for where they got to their kick.
Yeah, Stacey Jones is certainly looking like running out when he was running off the park at the half-time spot, feeling the effects, but just good work by Paul Fatueta to get in there, who has really had a wonderful season. Then the start of something special. David Kibble onside and gets the intercept. Then it's all on. Takes exception to Luke O'Donnell coming in. You'll see in a minute he says, out of my way. Handed by O'Donnell, he throws the ball at him, and quite simply O'Donnell reacts, and then she's all on for love or money. International Rugby League, don't you love it? But the most important thing here, Steve Ganson didn't send anyone, Pete. Said, OK, I can accept this is possibly going to happen. Let's just move on for it. And the most important thing here, Big Manu on a great backline move.
Well, we talk about opportunities, and that was about being given one. You were given a penalty, then you were able to convert that opportunity to points. This was the first of two on the back of a penalty play. We talk about David Kidwell coming off the line. He was on side. The fact that he wasn't, who cares whether or not you want to debate it. But then we talk about the power game, and this is a good example of it. When you put Manu Vatuvei up against Tate had him covered, but he just wanted nothing to do with it, and there was power. Manu Vatuvei so close with all the momentum, it was going to be pretty difficult to stop.
And the encouraging thing for Warriors fans is the young kid will have grown on this tour, and Stacey Jones again weaving his magic to let Clinton Torby just a simple pass and good body position.
And everybody not overplaying it, everybody recognising that what was on there. Manu Vatuvei going to the air, he was positioned again, he had the momentum as he left the air. Tate perhaps going a little too early, but Stacey again spot on. The kick, and we've seen it in general kicking as well, when he's been able to put the ball high on the likes of Minicello, take his attacking game out of it on kick return. Manu Vatuvei there, outstanding.
And remember, this too was again on the back of an Australian era, Ben Kennedy knocking on, and everybody was talking, and the pundits were suggesting that Australia's defence was going to win them the game. Well, today, the offensive defence of New Zealand has certainly paid dividends.
But when you look at their defensive game on the back of possession of 39% and completion rate sitting around 40, all you're doing right now is playing without the ball, and there's a lot of guys going. They're well off their game. But being well off their game is about the Kiwis and the way they've approached it, which has been very simple, not afraid to get into I guess just the simple stuff, coming out, just running out of that acting half, and then when the opportunities come, turning them into points.
Yes, but you would suggest too, though, Peter, that defensively, though, the Kiwis have been on song and they have stifled what has at times looked like a very tight Australian attack.
Well, you talk about defence and you talk about their scrambling efforts. In the beginning, perhaps in the opening quarter, we saw two good examples of a football side that perhaps had been prepared well and were on their game. There was one tackle on Matt King and another one on Tate. Both occasions involving in excess of 4 black and white jerseys, absolutely committed to just putting them into touch and coming up with big plays. They scrambled well in the opening 20 and they took a lot.
16 points to nil, that's right, 16 points to nil in this Tri-Nations final. The Kiwis led the Kangaroos. We will celebrate a year of rugby league on Friday the 2nd of December at Sky City, and we're going to show you the nominees for the key awards. Well, Player of the Year nominees are Benji Marshall, Ruben Wiki and Paul Fatueta, one of the he's an unlikely hero, Paul Fatueta, when you consider two premierships under his belt, and then the Rookie of the Year nominees. And in many ways, no surprise that Jake Webster is there, along with Benji Marshall and, of course, Manu Vatuvei. I actually, Pete, I must say I have to eat humble pie here in many ways. I remember talking to Coach Brian McLennan about Manu Vatuvei, and he, before was even selected, was very excited about Manu Vatuvei, and I suggested, was he ready for International Rugby League? I think quite simply I have been proven exceptionally wrong on this occasion. Live from Sky City on Sky Sport 1 at 8 o'clock on Friday, December the 2nd. It is the New Zealand Rugby League Awards Gala Dinner. It's a black tie affair, and Peter and I will be putting our flash rags on and joining a whole group of people, including the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Helen Clark, who, of course, is a good lady. She loves her footy. She'd rather be reading a book than watching a game of rugby. She'd be rather watching rugby league. All right, 16-0. It is the Kiwis in charge in the Tri-Nations final. Back with more.
From New Zealand, Michael Campbell.
I couldn't really afford it, to be honest.
Michael Campbell is going to win the U.S. U.S. Open.
Oh, it's just a fill-in, really.
Yes, it does. How about that?
I was desperate.
What a response. Campbell's out for relief.
I couldn't do it in front of millions of people.
Cambo, the chosen one.